Hey, YouTube family. Please ignore, if you can, the noise in the background. I've got my dishwasher going. I've got my vacuum cleaner going. Modern technology, huh? Getting housework done and not lifting a finger. Do any of you have those automatic robots? The floor cleaners, vacuum cleaners? I got one a couple of years ago from my niece for Christmas, and I love it, especially here, because this is, except for two of the rooms back there, this is all hardwood or linoleum. So it makes it really easy for the vacuum. But when it's time for that thing to go back to the charging station, you feed people. There needs to be an improvement on that, because it doesn't go straight back to the charging station. It goes everywhere else first. Eventually makes its way back if the battery doesn't die. Anyways, I was sending it back. I mean, I could go pick it up and put it back, but I'm in that kind of mood today. I'm just like in a, eh. I mean, there's stuff that I want to get done for sure. I feel like sitting on the porch, and soaking up some sunshine. This being out of work right now is driving me crazy. And it's causing some stress. I'm starting to worry. I know, that worry comes from the devil. It doesn't come from God. I know God will provide. And he has been providing in very unexpected ways. But it's just, every now and then, I'll get that, oh my gosh, this is due, that's due, kind of feeling. And God, I know that you will provide. I know you will provide. But this video is about, see, I've been going through my mom's Christmas, and my sisters and I deciding what we want for our homes, and what we aren't choosing for ourselves. I am just, I'm gonna just pack up and put it away. I'm not going to donate it. I'm going to save it for the next generation, because they may want it, and they can do whatever they want to with it. And sometimes you come across something that like you can remember being on her tree, or you can remember something, something she really enjoyed, or see, this is our first holiday without her. And I think for the most part, I think 99.9% we are kind of keeping our feelings to ourselves, as far as we're not talking about it with each other, because we know it's there. We know those feelings are there. We just don't want to, like I said, we all have it, or had a different relationship with our mother. And so we have different memories. And this is where being in her house gets hard because I remember coming over. I never put tissues. One moment. All right, sorry about that, y'all. I never. Sorry, I don't know why I was going to talk about the tissues again, but I don't. I never have them where I've got tissues all over the house, and but for some reason I never have them where I am when I need them. But this is where it gets. I know this is going to be the hardest because I'd come over and visit with her. Christmas time, I'd spend it with my sister, but we'd come over here, and I'd spend some time with her. And um, she was just always so glad, to see me because she didn't see me that often. And I'd come in the door and get that big hug from her. Sorry, guys. I'm really missing her right now. Um, that is the vacuum trying to plug itself back in, and it actually backed up to move a box out of the way. There it goes. All right. uh, I get mad at myself when my emotions overflow like this, and I shouldn't because it's normal and they're my feelings and I'm entitled to them and whatever. But when I'm trying to talk, so that's the thing, man. That's the thing about grief. And yes, I'm wearing my hoodie again. I don't want to hear nothing about it. I'm not working right now. Who cares if I wear the same clothes 2 days in a row? Or three for that matter. I don't care. Um, that's the thing about grief. And I even wrote about this, you know, in my books. It, and I will, for those of you that don't know, if you're new to my channel, I am a published author. So I've got 2 books on grief and 1 book on healing from narcissistic abuse, where I share my own experiences. Um, and those are all on Amazon, and I'll put the links in the description for you if you want to check those out. The books on grief aren't very long. The one on narcissism is longer, but it's more of a diary. So, um, but anyway, but see, that's the thing about grief, man. It comes and it can be years later. My dad passed away in 2005, and I will still, every so often, a wave will hit me, especially at Christmas, because it was Christmas Day 2004 was the last day I spent with my dad. And when I left that day, I knew I was never going to see him again. I don't know how I knew. He wasn't sick. There was, but I knew that I wasn't going to see him again. I even told my husband when we left the house, I said, I'm never going to see him again. And my husband's like, do you want to turn around and go back? I said, no, because he had to get to work and I just sucked at goodbyes and I just wanted to get home. My dad didn't want me to go either. He practically begged me not to leave. Um, And so holidays are hard for anyone if you're missing a loved one. But especially the first one. And my mom was very, we'd come spend some time with her, and then I'd go back over to my sister's, and then at dinner time she would come over and have dinner with us. Now this past Christmas, she didn't come over to my sister's to eat with us. We brought her plate to her house, and now I realize it's because she was in pain and she wasn't well. We just didn't know it. Um, there are times when a memory will come up and I'll just kind of shake my head, in disbelief, like, God, it's a wonder I'm still here. It's a wonder I survived my childhood. And then, there are times like this when I'm going through Christmas stuff when I remember the good things. And there are some good memories. Um, don't let anything that I've said in the um, videos with Andrew make y'all think otherwise. There were some good memories. There are good memories. Um, for instance, I remember there was uh, there's this time when she would put a sheet over a fan to make a tent. The fan would blow, and we would put stuff down around the sheet to hold the air in. And she had a little black and white TV in there for us, and we were watching TV. And she brought some paper plates of just like goodies and snacks, like M&Ms and Cheetos and stuff like that, and let us have this junk food fest, um, and it was hot, so it was a way to keep us cool. We didn't have like air conditioning and stuff like that. Your air conditioner was open the door, and let the air in, open the windows. Um, there are some, and I admit that sometimes I struggle to remember some of the good memories, but there are some. And I just want to let my Aunt Kathy know too, because I received an email from her. Um, it was a very, well, it just, she was just letting me know that it was never me, that it was my mom, it was never my issues, or, it was my mom. And I thank you for that, because, confirmation is everything. But, so, and I did want to let my aunt know that my mom did finally tell me she was proud of me. She may have been throughout my life proud of me for this or that things I've done, but it was really hard for her to say. But I knew two things. I knew when I opened the firebox that had her important papers and stuff after her passing, and my daycare business card was in there. I lost it because that was her way of telling me she was proud of me. And then when my mom was in the hospital, when my mom was in the hospital, we asked her to record for us, record a little message for us. And for me, she said, "I love you, Dreama, and I am proud of you." And that's the first time I ever heard her say she was proud of me. So I do have that recording.
And every now and then I listen to it. Oh my gosh, guys. I'll tell you what, I'm so glad I can come on here and talk with you guys. Sometimes I need to. See, the thing about grief, man, the thing about grief, and I've had so much experience with it. Oh my gosh. I think more than my share. More than my share. Um, in various forms. But the thing about it is, you can let it destroy you, or you can use it as a tool to become a better person, a more compassionate person. You can use all those feelings uh, to create a tool within yourself to use your experiences to help others. And I am going to be writing a book too called I Miss My Mommy. I'm still, just letting those feelings simmer and to see where I come out at, maybe after the holidays, I'll start writing it. Um, I'm okay. I'm okay, y'all. It's sometimes this happens. Um, it seems to be happening more and more lately because I think because the holidays are approaching, because Andrew and I have been talking, a lot about the past, and that stirs up feelings. And but I've always said that if something I've been through can help even one person, then it is well worth it. It is worth it, because this grief is something that we all have to experience in our lives in many, many forms, not just losing loved ones. Losing a job can give you grief, you know. Graduating from school can even cause you grief, you know. Things change, just the change that life brings to you. And like right now, I feel there's like an almost a lost feeling to some extent, because my foundation is totally gone. Like I don't have my mom, my dad, or my stepdad anymore. And I don't feel like I have. It's like, hey, it's like wandering in the woods alone. Um, I mean, have any of you lost both of your parents? Or for me, I've lost three, because I lost my mom, my dad, and my stepdad. And it's like you're kind of out here feeling your way now. That's how I feel. Like it's I'm in the woods and it's dark and it's snowing and I'm just trying to find my way. And it's not that I depended on my mom for anything, but just knowing she was there, I took for granted that she was there. Anyways, so, don't ever let anyone tell you that grief comes in stages. That there's this stage and this stage and this stage and this hockey puck. Grief is like a tornado, and it is not organized. It does not, you don't get one, two, three, four, five, six, whatever, all the stages. They come in jumbled up emotional chaos, like yarn being tangled up by a cat. It is crazy. One day you can be feeling sad, another you can be feeling happy, another you could be feeling angry, another day you can, be just fine, and it's up and down and around, and it doesn't last just for a day or a week or a month or years. It lasts a lifetime. Grief doesn't end. It just, the longer it goes, like with my dad who's been gone since 2005, the longer it's been since whatever it is, if you've lost someone or you've lost your job or whatever, the longer it's been from that event that caused you the grief, it doesn't, you just, what you do is you learn how to deal with it in your life. If you've lost a loved one, you just learn how to live with them in a different way. You learn to live with the memories of them and learn to live with them in your heart, and um it gets to where it's not constantly on your mind, but then it doesn't take much to trigger. It really truly doesn't. you know and but the longer it's been, the easier it gets. It does get easier, I can promise you that, but I can also promise you that it doesn't ever truly go away. So, you know if you've lost someone, and you're hoping that I'll tell you, yes, it goes away. It doesn't. It just, it lightens up, and you just learn to live with them in your heart, and, and not, you know, physically with you. And in fact, your memories, um, you start to appreciate more about them. You really do. You start to appreciate more about their life. And it's weird because I think back to my childhood and my early adulthood when everybody was still alive, my grandparents and my uncles and all that. And I think back to that stuff and I'm like, wow, life is fleeting. It goes by like that. But at the same time, you really don't realize what a gift life is. And you think I look back on those memories and you think it's going to last forever. You want to hear something really crazy? I'm sorry, y'all. My knees bothering me, so I have to shift a lot. Plus, I think my foot's trying to fall asleep. Um, it's really crazy. I remember even as a teenager. Let's say I had just turned 15. Okay, I think that's when I started doing this. I would count by decades, and I would go, okay, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. You figure the average lifespan is, 75 to 80, 85, something like that. Longer if you take care of yourself and you're blessed and lucky, um, because life is a gift. But I remember
somewhere around when I turned 15, I would count like that. Go, okay, I've got, you know, X amount of years left. And I remember doing it again, like when I was 20, when I was 30, and I would count by decades because for me, in my mind, each decade is is like I sectioned my life off into decades. I'm probably the only person in the world that does that, but I would like section my life off into decades, you know, and while it is fleeting and it goes fast, it's also it's long and short at the same time. It does not make any sense. It goes by fast, but a lot happens in those decades. A lot happens. Just think back to your life 10 years ago. How much has happened in that 10 years? Um, the other thing that I did when I was a teenager is I asked myself a question. And somehow I told myself, don't ever forget this question. And I kind of mentally burned it into my head. And I've never forgotten the question. And so when I was like, uh, at 20, I think I was somewhere around there. I asked myself, okay, when you're 30, ask yourself if you feel the same as you did when you were 20, if you feel like the same person. Excuse me. And again, at 40, I asked that question of myself. I think it was somewhere between 45 and 50. Excuse me. I think it was really, um, haven't eaten and my stomach's mad at me. um, I think it was closer to 50 when I started going, no, I don't feel like the same person because I'm not the same person as I was 10 years ago. To be honest, I'm not even the same person that I was 5 years ago. Too much has happened, you know, too much has happened. But, and grief has played a part in that because it can change you and it can change you for the worst. You can become an angry person, you know, become one of those grumpy old people. Rah, 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 rah. Get out of my yard kind of people. Or you can become, a compassionate, caring person who actually cares about other people. And you can become a person that takes life in. And that's who I am now. I am a person who takes life in and wants to enjoy more of life. Um, so, and honestly, grief played a big part in me becoming who I am today. Not taking advantage. I mean, not taking for granted, little moments and realizing that time is precious and making each day as full as you can. Thank you guys for listening to this. Sometimes, sometimes grief overtakes me and I just need to jump on here and talk to you guys and get it out. And see, I already feel better. So, and this was triggered. Big part of this was triggered because I've been going through my mom's Christmas stuff. The good news is that the back porch looks way better. I don't know if y'all can see it. Probably can't even tell from this angle, but the back porch is looking a lot better. And I can see the floor of it. And so
That's a good thing. You guys take care. God bless you. Thank you for being part of my YouTube family. I appreciate you guys so much. I really, really do. And I appreciate that you put up with the collective of this channel. That's why I changed the name to Dreamer's Diary, because I'm just gonna talk about whatever. And now I think it's time to sit on the porch for a while. God bless.